Hey guys, welcome back to our vlog. I'm Roxanne with Baker's Acres Homestead, and today we are going to be preparing some apples for canning. I'm going to be making some crisp apple slices and apple juice for canning. And here's my setup. I've got it all out on the floor on a sheet laid out on the floor just to give me some more room to work. I could have done it on the table, but as you can see, my table is filled up with other canning stuff and produce and seeds. I've been planting my garden for next year, and a little boy over there doing some schoolwork. So we got these apples from one of the old ladies from our church that my husband does some work for and helps out, and him and my kids were over there this weekend helping her out with some things, and she has a few apple trees on her place that they picked a few bags of apples from, and so we're gonna get them ready for processing today. All of these apples, she doesn't spray anything on the trees or put any pesticides or anything, so they may have some blemishes or worms or bugs in them, and they've been on the tree for a little while, so they may have some bad spots, but I'll just go through them and be selective as I'm processing and getting them ready, and I'll pull the bad stuff out and just use the good stuff. And I've already got them all washed and ready to go, and I have them laid out here. There's one batch that I'm gonna do juice with, and another batch in the bucket here that I'm going to do the apple slices with. And funny thing about these buckets, I just got them yesterday from Orchlands, and we have tons of buckets around here, white Orchland buckets and feed buckets and just different kinds of buckets all around here. Being on a farm, a homestead, you know, you gotta have buckets. And but I didn't want to use a bucket that's had feed in it or dirt or rocks or whatever in it for processing food that we're gonna consume. So we went to Orchlands, and I bought these two pink buckets. So everybody knows my pink buckets are for food processing and food that we're gonna consume. So that's kind of a funny story about these buckets. So yeah, let me get started on these apples, and you guys can come along and see what I'm doing. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, you probably noticed as I was showing my setup that I have here my apple peeler and a screw gun. So the last time I was doing apples, my handle on my apple peeler broke, and we did go buy another apple peeler, but before we went and bought one, my husband actually thought of using a screw gun and just hooking it up to the end of this apple peeler here where the handle was, and just pushing the button on the screw gun and turning it, and that worked fantastic. And it really peels those apples so fast and just makes that process go so much faster. So that's what this is here for, and you guys will get to see that here shortly. Okay, so first I am going to get these apples ready to make the apple juice. I do not have a juicer, and I came across this one recipe that you can make clear apple juice without a juicer. And the method to this is you don't even have to peel your apples. You just core them and slice them, which I have this slicer here. It cores it and slices at the same time. And you core and slice them into slices, and then you just put the slices into a bucket, and then you pour enough boiling water over the top of them to almost cover them, or just barely cover them. And then you let that sit for 1 to 3 days. And The amazing science in this method is that the boiling water actually pushes the juice out of your apples and then absorbs into the apples. And if you let it sit for a lot of time and then you taste the apple, it will actually taste like water because all of the juice has been pushed out into the bucket. And so then, after that process is done, after it's sat for about 1 to 3 days and all the juice have come out of the apples, you just strain your apple chunks and apple pieces out and just get the juice, and then you boil the juice down, or boil the juice so that it's hot and you can put it in your canning jars and get ready to can it. So I thought that was, I've never done it before, but I thought it was a really neat method, a neat way to do it without a juicer, and I thought, why not give it a try? She said that this was a method that her grandma used for many, many years, and she's been using it for many years, and it works wonderful. So I thought, you know, it's worth a shot, and if it works, then fantastic and great. And I will also give you guys an update later after I've done it all and have tried it and everything, and I'll let you know how it goes. So let's get started. Like I said earlier, some of these apples may have rotten spots or places where worms have been or eating them. Like this one here, it's got some gross spots, and I will just take those pieces out and just not use them. And we'll either put them in the compost pile or give them to the pigs or chickens or whatever. Apple juice again. Okay, so here are my apples in that bucket. Now I will just put a lid on them and let them sit for a couple of days. And then I will, you let them sit at room temperature. So I will just stick them in here somewhere in my kitchen for a couple of days. And then that's it. Then after a couple of days, you open it up. Really super easy way to can. Now that the apple juice is done, let's get started on these apple slices. And first part of this is we have to peel all these apples. But you guys, seriously, this is the best and my favorite part of this whole process. When he took out this drill after breaking that handle, you know, boys and their toys, right? But seriously, it was like the best idea ever. It was the best fix to this, like the best thing that could have happened with that handle breaking off of there. But anyways, this drill just makes this job so much faster and like so fun. So let's get started. Okay, here we go. I mean, seriously, how awesome was that? Like 2 seconds and that apple is peeled and ready to go. That is so awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better problem to happen and such a great fix to that problem. So I think I'll just turn it this way so that the apple peels will fall that way. Do you want to do one?
Yeah.
Would you like to do one?
Yeah. Hi, Lily. I've never done one before.
Can you stick it on there? Put your hand on that. It's sharp. Okay. Ready? And it's so fun, the kids love to help too. Whoa, not so fast.
That was funny.
She really peeled that apple. Yeah.
I'm blowing them everywhere. Can I do another one?
Sure.
Can I do
Does
another?
somebody else want to do one?
Yeah, I want to do
Okay.
one first. I want to do one.
Okay. Not too fast this time, okay?
Okay.
You can't go super, super fast. There you go. Good job.
Is that one connected?
Who else wants to do one?
Whoa!
I will.
It's
You
really
want to?
long.
Okay.
Look how long this is, Mommy.
Yep. Ready?
I want to do one.
Ready, Christopher?
Uh-huh.
Last apple.
This one's a small
It's
one.
a tiny one, huh? Push it on.
It's easy to put on.
There you go.
It's hard.
Okay, remember, like a total listen, not too fast. Where does it go?
It was everywhere when I did
Ooh, perfectly
it. Big.
peeled apple, right?
Show them how big it was.
All right, 41 apples in like 10 minutes. Is that not the coolest thing or what? I think that's just awesome that he thought of that idea. Okay, so our next step is to core and slice these apples. So that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna start coring and slicing.
Mom, can I have a sliced apple?
Hmm?
Can I have a sliced apple? Sure. Like the whole apple.
No, because I'm gonna use these for
Okay.
canning stuff.
Okay.
That's what these are for. Okay, that is all done. Now that that is all out of the way, now we can get to the easiest step of the whole process. So the next step for doing these crisp sliced apples is to take all of these fresh apples here that I just cored and sliced, and I am going I'll just keep layering until I run out. And then you just put a plate on the top of that and put a weight on top of the plate to push the apples down and to push the juice out of the apples as it sits in the bucket. And essentially what you are doing is you are pushing all the liquid, or most of the liquid and the juice, out of your apples, which will keep them from going mushy. So they'll stay crisp and crunchy when you bite into them after you can them. And so you'll just put the lid on there after you layer it. Put your plate and your weight on top of there, and put the lid on, and then you just let that sit for 12 to 24 hours, and then they'll be ready to go through the canning process. And what you do then is you'll take the apples out, and you'll actually put the apples into your canning jars, and then the remaining juice that's left in your bucket, you'll actually boil it, and then that will be the juice that you use to pour into your canning jars over the top of your apples, and then you're ready to can. So let's start this next. Grab you an apple or something like that. Orange, some fruits maybe. Okay. And layering apples and sugar. Why do you need sugar? Let's do this. Just take your lid, put your lid on top, and let it sit for 12 to 24 hours, and then your apples will be ready to go. Well, now I can go give all these yummy apple scraps to the piggies and the chickens, and they can have a good yummy treat. I'm sure they'll enjoy it very much. And when this is all done, when these apples are done and the apple juice is done, I will do another video to show you how they turned out. Thanks for coming along with me, guys, as I did these apples today, and thanks for stopping by, and God bless until next time.
This is heavy. These are little pigs. They're really happy. Let's step over the hot wire. Oh, looky. They get some yummy food for them.
They're happy.
Happy pigs. Oh, can you video me pet it? She's really nice.
Yeah.
Here, you video now.
They were ready for that, weren't they, Alyssa? Give it all to them. No, don't do that, Alyssa. That's not nice. It's okay. He'll find it.